Correct. So, here's Charlie.
I insult mainstream journalism more often than 50 Cent insults
Oh, I should move myself out of the way. I'm in Charlie's face. I don't want to be in Charlie's face. There, that's better.
P. Diddy. I am constantly clowning on mainstream journalism. If the clouds are out, you can bet your sweet bippy I'm going outside, shaking my fists at them, screaming my opinion of journalism at them. I think that industry has gone in an unforgivable direction. Like, I challenge any one of you to open an article on your phone. It'll be the last mistake you ever make because you'll probably end up throwing yourself down the staircase in frustration because you won't even get the article. You just get inundated with ads. Auto-playing video ads, jump scare sound ads, banner ads all throughout the page covering every single pixel. It's just ads out the wazoo there. They don't even use punctuation anymore, like periods and question marks to finish a sentence off. They just put like an ad there. You get maybe two tiddlywinks of information about whatever topic you clicked on, and the rest is just ads. It sucks. Or they just straight up paywall it and you can't read it without.
Yeah, he's not wrong. We've talked about this before. Yeah. For those in chat that weren't here yesterday, I was talking about how, like, in real life ads have become insane. I called my internet service provider yesterday to ask them a question about my bill because I had a problem with my bill. And while the agent was looking up my account information, he starts going into a selling pitch about, oh, why don't you have our television and home phone package? It's like, no, dude, I just want to find out about my bill here. I don't want you to sell me something. Like ads are everywhere. It's starting to go the route of like Ready Player One, where these corporations are trying to gauge to see how many ads they can fill your vision space with before you start suffering permanent brain damage. It's insane.
Giving over a subscription fee. It's downright diabolical. It's tacky and I hate it. It's just an industry that I think is going in the worst possible direction. And another
Okay.
very common practice in mainstream journalism is writing bullshit articles for the sake of drumming up rage so that way people will click on it to leave like a nasty comment or talk about it or whatever just to get some rage clicks, even though it's just based on nothing. The two biggest culprits of that practice are Kotaku and IGN, for example. Actually,
Oh yeah, in the gaming in the video game space. Oh my god, nobody takes Kotaku and IGN seriously anymore. An article comes out by either Kotaku or IGN, people are automatically assuming that it's some kind of agenda-driven bullshit article. Nobody takes them seriously anymore.
they're probably not even the biggest. There's definitely bigger ones out there, but those are the ones that constantly get, tomatoes tossed at them on Twitter. There's plenty more, but the outlet I want to focus on today is Dexerto, a name I'm sure you've all heard before. It's also a name that gets pronounced 1,000 different ways, so I'm not even sure the correct pronunciation. I've heard some people call it Deserto, Deserto, like who really knows tomato, fucking tomato. Some people pronounce Dexerto like they're casting some type of elvish spell, so it's really all over the place, but I'm sure you
Never heard of
know
them.
this publication. Their big thing is pushing out as many stories as possible, as quickly as possible, no matter what. Come hell or high water, Dexerto needs to publish something even tangentially related to a streamer or a YouTuber or gaming every 15 minutes on the dot, or else the whole company's gonna blow up. It's like Speed with Keanu Reeves, but instead of going over 80 miles per hour, they need to go over 80 articles per hour, it seems. Because they will write about fucking anything. Like if XQC had a half brother who had a third grade English teacher who just had a son that opened a lemonade stand in Kansas and sold 3 cups of lemonade, I bet you Dexerto would publish an article about it. And it's been very successful for them as
Ah, Charlie definitely has an opinion on this one. I was gonna make a joke about father's brother's cousin's second uncle, former roommate, but I think he did a hell of a lot better job than I could have done on that.
a business model. Oftentimes, when a big story breaks, it's the Dexerto articles and headlines that are getting pushed around the most, like they're the center of fucking mosh pit here. Those spread the quickest because they're really a concise breakdown of like the main points, like a bare bones synopsis of whatever the topic is, so it makes it easily digestible and people share those the most. And since they write about everything, they always will be there for the bigger stories. Oftentimes, when they do like the smaller niche things like Oh, did Tim the Tat Man leave a Hershey stain in his boxers? Look at his britches at, timestamp hour 22 of his Call of Duty Warzone stream from last night, and they'll write a whole article about it or whatever. Those kind of just wither and die, but they still publish them. But sometimes they don't. So that's what happened yesterday. Dexerto published an article about me. And I use this phrase a lot, but I mean it. This is the truest sense of a nothing burger. They published a story about a video I made where I was just making fun of dogshit TikTok pranksters that harass elderly people. And they wrote about this like it was newsworthy. Moist Critical slams creators harassing the elderly for prank content. And the article is just taking a couple of quotes at
Well, who wouldn't? I mean, if you're harassing old people for pranks, I hate these pranksters. Prank channels anyway. Like these prank channels, it's the lowest form of comedy, and it's not even funny. It's just cruel. Every time I see these quote unquote prank channels, they're treating people like shit and pretending it's like comedy. And honestly, like, I if more of these quote unquote pranksters would get their ass kicked for what they're doing, you'd probably see a lot of these prank channels start dying off really quickly. And I kind of wish they would because they're not funny. It's not like it's a production company that's doing like just for laughs or I forget what the U.S. used to do one frequently. For the life of me, I can't remember the name of it. Where it was like that, it was a studio that actually was doing pranks on people, and it was actually done, and it was done really well, and people actually laughed about it. These pranksters, the pranks they pull are just cruel. They're literally just being mean and bullying people and laughing about it and calling that a prank. Like, when did when did society stop saying, yeah, this is bullying and go to, oh, it's just a prank, bro? I hate that expression to begin with because it's an obfuscation. You're trying to hide the fact that you're being a bully and should get the shit kicked out of you for what you're doing.
random from the video I made about like it being really embarrassing and me just insulting the people behind it. And then it took
I like to think of it as being passionate because I hate bullies. I really hate bullies. I've always hated bullies. So I'm very passionate about how I think bullies should get the shit kicked out of them. That's not violent.
two quotes from two random YouTube comments that are like, "These guys fucking suck." It's like, why is that an article? This isn't anything noteworthy whatsoever. This isn't some grand, controversial, brave statement or anything where the Dexerto author was shocked, mouth agape. Oh, he did what? No, no one's ever thought to go after TikTok pranksters. What a pioneer! He's a hero! Like, this is the lowest hanging fruit imaginable. This is me just making fun of some douchebags. Like, it's not deep. It's not at all. There is no reason to have ever put pen to paper to write about this. It's complete. Oh, I don't know why I'm giving so much credit to Dexerto here. This was 100% like a ChatGPT generated article.
He's getting pretty fired up about this too. I don't see Charlie get fired up about the too much. Um, like I remember when he was going off about the problems he was having with U.S. immigration and his esports team that he had to dissolve because immigration would not let his players come through. Uh, he got really fired up about that one, and justifiably so. I'm honestly a little surprised he's getting this fired up about this news article. Unless, I mean, we're going to see that they wrote something really disparaging about him. Curious about that, but just the fact that they wrote an article about him is he's getting kind of fired up about this for some reason.
Because they were reaching a deadline. They're like, fuck, I got nothing to write about. Let me go ahead and pop this bitch into ChatGPT here. Summarize Moist Critical's harassment elderly TikTok video, and I'll just go ahead and publish an article with all those bullet points in it. Like, this is nothing. It's actually nothing. It is me just making fun of some douchebags. I've done that for a decade. Why is this a news story? But Since they portrayed it as something noteworthy, like something that's front page news, they posted it on Twitter and the story popped off. Quote, "It's so fucking embarrassing. Moist Critical calls out prank YouTubers who are harassing elderly people for content." Man, this guy, wow. He took up the sword and did what no one had the courage to do. Call out TikTok pranksters. Is there any lower hanging fruit? It's just a simple video of me clowning on some assholes. Something I have done time and time again and something I will always continue to do because it is fun to do. Not because
I wonder, and I'm curious if Charlie is going to make this jump. I'm thinking that they're just using Charlie as as a for farming content because he's got a huge audience. So he's got probably one of, if not the biggest audience on YouTube, possibly Twitch. I'm wondering if this quote unquote news company or journalism company is simply just kind of using his name to try and draw in people to their publications. Because if somebody, a fan of his, sees this news article publish something about him, they may click on it to read it. And even if they go, oh, the story's nothing, I know about this and it's nothing, now they're on their webpage. Now they're going to be inundated with ads of their other articles. They're going to have links with all their other articles. Maybe they're counting on someone to get curious and click on one of those articles or click on that article. Maybe they'll find that interesting and maybe they'll click on another one, which of course there's going to be ads on these articles to get them some ad revenue. So it really feels like this publication is just using Charlie as a means of farming content. They probably don't give a shit about this incident in this video. They might have just picked this one out of a hat or just said, "Hey, Charlie talked about something. We need some eyeballs on the website. Let's publish about his latest video to try and draw some eyes onto the webpage." Because that's really what this feels like. It feels like they're just farming for content using the Moist Critical brand to try and bring eyeballs onto their webpage. That's it. It doesn't feel like it's anything more than that.
because it's some kind of important, crusade I'm trying to lead. I'm just making fun of them and making jokes about them because it's enjoyable to do. Why is this a story? And that's what a ton of people pointed out too, making fun of me as if it was me making some kind of video essay on why TikTok elderly harassment pranks are bad. When that is not at all what I was doing. I was just making fun of them. Like that is it. Like it's about as like
I I think that is the first time I have ever seen and heard Charlie do that in a video. That's funny.
lowbrow as those three farts. Like my little ass trumpet right there is about how deep that video went. I wasn't making big statements or anything. I was just making fun of them. There was no reason for this to be a news article. And they do this all the time for everybody. Like here's another one I remember. Moist Critical slams creepy alpha male dating coach charging $3,000 for advice. Again, it's me making fun of some loser. Like that's it. Like this isn't a story.
Okay, totally off topic here. Does anyone else feel like his eyebrows almost look like they're fake? I'm sure they're not. It's just it 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 almost looks like they're painted on. I don't mean to call out Charlie on or anything, but I just noticed like his eyebrows. Maybe it's because the edges are so straight. Maybe he plucks them or something. Yeah, I'm wondering if maybe if he plucks them, it just suddenly hit me just now. It's like, wow, his eyebrows have such straight lines. They almost look like they're painted on. Completely random. I'm not calling out Charlie. I don't think he looks bad or anything like that. It just suddenly just struck me out of nowhere.
Story at all. They're just seemingly picking videos at random and just like giving a brief summary of that video and portraying it as if it's me making some kind of like grand stance here. And when they post it on Twitter, that's what people think I'm doing, which I'm fucking not. Like, I'm not making anything deep about elderly harassment
Oops.
pranksters. Everyone knows they
He's getting
suck.
fired up.
Everyone in like the people themselves are like shameful little worms, and I know when they have moments of self-reflection, they look in the mirror and they're not happy. Like everyone knows that they are objectively worthless losers. Like that's I'm not doing anything brave. This isn't news when I make fun of TikTok harassment pranksters or the TikTok love guru who's selling you the 888 get pussy now service for 3,000 clams. Like that's nothing to write about. I'm on the edge of my seat waiting for their next banger article. Moist Critical makes strong stance against animal abusers. Fucking flames coming off their keyboard as they type about it. Whoa. It's just super dumb. It's really dumb. They've been doing this for actual years, by the way. Some of my favorites include this one about me insulting the Modern Warfare 3 campaign, calling it objectively bad. Which it is.
Okay.
That shit blows ass. It is terrible. Boo! Boo! I'll say it a million times. Modern Warfare 3's campaign was unforgivably cringe, worthless trash. Why would that ever need an article, though?
Oh, did you? Okay. It's and there's nothing wrong with someone plucking their eyebrows, man or woman. I just it just suddenly struck me for some reason. Um, Perfectly fine if anyone wants to pluck their eyebrows. Nothing wrong with it.
Pretty much everyone with eyes agrees with that take. There's nothing to write about there. They're just summarizing my review of the Modern Warfare 3 campaign. What is the point? And speaking of what is the point, here's one they made about me being elated with YouTube streams after I moved away from Twitch. And then right before this one, they made an article saying Moist Critical suffers major YouTube stream issues after Twitch contract ends. These are two videos I made. One of them with the major issues was about how I accidentally locked my streams to 720 on YouTube for the first stream, as well as like not figuring out how to change the title or put like a custom thumbnail or whatever. Like it was all just like in jest, like it wasn't a big deal or anything. I was just explaining like, damn, this is like a lot different than I thought it would be. And they wrote a fucking article about it as if it's some kind of big breaking story, and then a month later they're like, wow, Charlie's happy with streaming. Cool. Who gives a fuck? Why are we writing about that? Why would anyone at Dexerto even think that's worth writing about?
Because they're using his name to farm for content. I am a little surprised he hasn't made that jump yet. Maybe, there's still a minute and a half left to the video. I'm a little surprised he hasn't actually made that jump that they're using his name to farm clicks. They're just trying to get eyeballs on the platform. And I'm guessing if they're continually doing it, it works. If someone does a Google search for Moist Critical, their article comes up, they've got a click, which means they've got ads, which means they've got ad revenue. So it feels like this is purely just clickbait. They're using his name for clickbait, pure and simple. I honestly don't think it goes any deeper than that. It's as basic as just we need clickbait.
I am confident that AI plays a huge role in their.
Hey, music. Thanks for stopping by, and thank you so much for following. I've been trying to stream, Monday through Friday, for the most part. Usually it's time wise, it's gonna be hard, but I usually stream. It's like what is it? Like 11 o'clock Central. Um, no, sorry, 11 o'clock Pacific. Um, 12 o'clock Central. I am thinking of maybe starting an hour earlier because my streaming time right now kind of takes me through dinner. I'm thinking about, but I do stream. Yeah, I know it does, but I mean for time conversions. Um, I mean if it helps for like if it helps for like UTC time, I usually stream. Let's see, let me do some quick math here. So 20. So I usually stream about that's right now like 6 p.m. UTC. Is what I've been has been what I've been doing. I've been streaming like Monday through Friday. I am thinking about I might start an hour earlier, Just so I finish up by the time dinner time comes. But I thanks so much for coming by, and I look forward to you coming by again. It was wonderful to have you, and I can't wait for you to come back again. And thank you so much.
Topics for Dexerto. Like, it's literally just taking random videos and portraying them as a news story. And they just like summarize in like 2 or 3 paragraphs what the video says at random sometimes. It's fucking stupid. It's a complete waste of time. I could go on and on with so many examples here, but there's no reason to. It'd just be super redundant. You get the point. But I will admit, there have been a couple times where I learned about a topic breaking from Dexerto being one of the first to report it, and since they get shared so often, I saw it from them first before looking into a deeper breakdown from another source. So admittedly, there have been a few times where I did go to Dexerto, get like the very basics before looking into like the more deeper elements of whatever they were reporting on. So they are kind of helpful in that regard if you're just looking for like the breaking stories or to be kept in the know on something big going on. But all like the actual stories they cover are surrounded by these like fluff nonsense about nothing. Like actually nothing. And it's really frustrating. So I just wanted to talk about that a little bit because the one they posted yesterday with the elderly harassment pranksters actually ruffled my feathers. That one just made me upset
Yeah,
that they'd
it
make a
clearly
fucking
did.
article out of that. That one is probably the lowest they've sank for an article. But anyway, that's really about it. See ya.
Wow, that was. I had never seen Charlie get that heated. Well, no, I have, but about that, it's surprising how heated he got with that.